What do you drink? Coffee? You like homemade coffee? Which homemade coffee do you guys get?
We get a Keurig. It's a K-cup one, but it's a donut shop, medium roast.
You like that one?
Dude.
I didn't like donut shop that much.
Medium roast?
I have a K-cup. You know what it is? I want to go back to the old school coffee machines, but now they're so expensive, right?
Aren't
They're
they?
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like the beans and everything. I want that. I think I'll stop buying coffee. I've tried the Keurig. I've gone on like a whole 3-week hiatus of just Keurig. Doesn't taste the same, man. Sometimes it's too much water. Sometimes it's too, it's never enough coffee. But yeah.
Pause.
That's not pause. That's not pause. I gotta teach this kid about the pause game. Pause. Welcome everyone to the first episode of season 4 PCP podcast. As no one knows, I am collabing now with Anthony Jacob. His company. I'll let him talk about it a little bit more later on. But the whole reason behind this whole thing is we were supposed to collab actually for season 5. And then this fucker hits me up like 2 days before season 4 starts and goes, "Yo, bro, I'm actually gonna put like my project on a pause, and I want to see if I can hop on pause on season 4." So obviously, the reason I'm gonna give you a little explanation as to why everything's happening. I thought it was a great idea. I knew I was gonna I already had a lot of things planned for season 4, but Anthony's been a person, just like a bunch of my friends, like Mike, the fake J. You guys will see him a lot in this season. I don't know. To me, he's just been someone that's always supported me from day one, even though, like I told him from Island Boys, he created an Island Boys logo. Shout out to George, too. By the way, this whole studio set is thanks to Anthony and George. Big shout out to George.
Big shout out to George.
Yeah. Right here, this wall didn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. George decides to just fucking go, you know what? Sorry, George, if I get you in trouble. But he's like, fuck work. I'm coming through. I'm just going to build a wall for you guys. I have ideas. This is George. This is George. The wall is George.
This elegant piece.
Yeah, right this thing right here. It's actually 2 pieces, but George made it.
He claimed it took him 2 hours, by the way.
Exactly. Exactly. Even though I just fucked it up.
Well, sorry, George.
We'll fix that later. But yeah, so it was an exciting thing to collab with my brother, and it's going to be a lot of good episodes. It's going to be mostly, we're going to try to focus on group ones, obviously, like we said and we stated. A group one's going to be, we did one already. It turned out funny, but as we progress and go into the seasons, we'll work on the kinks and everything to make them perfect for the viewers, perfect for us. How do you think this is going to work out? Like, you guys don't know him much, but to me, he's like a perfectionist. And I tell him it's good, but it can also be bad.
Oh yeah, it can be bad.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, let's touch on it earlier because you said I had a project that I kind of been a little
correct.
Bit. So I was trying to start my own podcast.
Correct.
But I can't do all of that plus the other things I'm doing. So I was just like, I could help you out actually. So the plan was to come join you season 5.
Correct.
But I moved it up. I was like, you know what? I think I could do season 4. Let me help you out this season. Let's co-host. Let's see what we could do. And
facts.
It's a good collaboration. We had a good run, a couple episodes in the past. So
we did. A lot of your episodes have done really well. Like I said, the banger to season 2 started off with you and Mike, and that was my first video recording ever, which was so fucking scary for me. And I'm so glad. I didn't even think it was going to be you and your brother, bro. That was the last thought that was going to be the first episode, just because I didn't know what direction I was going really yet. But I was like, I want this to be video. And ironically, it worked out because you helped me with OBS. Because at first we were going to do it with something else. And it did not work out. And this kid's like, bro, just download OBS. I'll help you set it up really quick. Just to get you to the base part, and then you're gonna have to do your own research from there.
Yeah.
It's like, because you even said to me, like, I don't want to like guide you the wrong way, but this is at least a base of where I can help you. And it did well, bro. Season 2 happened, it's over with. Season 3 happened, it's over with. And now we're here. Like, just know that season 2 was this year.
How crazy is that? Yo, that's 2 seasons ago.
Bro, yeah. Definitely after this season, I'm taking like a 3-4 week hiatus. Like, I have to. Just because back to back to back, it's draining, man. It's very draining. But I like what I'm doing. If I didn't like it, I don't think I would be here.
This is a 3rd podcast in a row for you.
Third, well, not in a row, but 3rd podcast definitely after.
Yeah.
It's been the Puka Show, the Island Boys podcast, and now the Puka Circle podcast. And hopefully the last and ever.
The grind continues, man.
Yeah, it does. It does. So, let's see. Let's talk about this whole episode's going to be about a couple of things. We're going to tell you where we're working on this whole, like, what our project wants, what we want this project to be, right? We're going to also tell you about a topic that we both came into what am I thinking about?
We both
Came
talk.
to agreement
Yeah.
that we should be talking about building our legacy, which is building a podcast, building a legacy, building your life. It's very important, right? Me and you had a really good episode that's still doing numbers, which I still have a theory that Anthony goes every day on a different device and clicks on it because
Yeah, I'm
'cause-
platforming that.
because bro, that episode is growing. I think it's head to head with Mike's episode now. Mike's episode from season 1. Banking 101 for some reason. Also, I think I have a theory that he's also clicking it on other people's devices, but it's competing with that one, and that's my second best one.
Damn.
So it
I'm
goes,
honored.
yeah, it's my nieces, your brother, and then you.
Shout out to the nieces.
Yeah. So my nieces are gonna definitely be back, and we're gonna be hosting that, and it should be a good one. But building your legacy, man. Why did you want to talk about that topic today?
Yeah, I honestly think just starting the conversation about it is important in our culture because not a lot of people talk about the future.
Yeah.
And I think planning for it, doing incremental steps to get there is very important because if you don't have like a vision or a goal, you're not really aiming at anything. And you need to really aim your sights down on your goal if you want to even achieve something like a legacy. And a legacy is like the end product, right? But it's about getting there. And so it's not like I have it all fleshed out. Obviously not. I'm learning a lot as I go, of course, but I'm starting the discussion. I talk to my friends about it and we kind of bounce ideas off each other. Like, how do we get there? Like, what do we do? How do we build generational wealth? How do we build, friendships that last a long time? How do we build, businesses? All these things, man. It all comes down.
Yeah. So I guess I just want to get more into a niche about it. What does it mean to you? Like, what does building your legacy look like? Does it involve all those factors you just said?
It
Friendships,
involves,
financial wealth. Like what at that point it's like, how does your legacy continue? You have to have kids. Is that what you have in mind too?
Of course, yeah. So it's building a strong, capable family, being a good leader in the family, being able to provide everything you can for your family.
Gotcha.
It does start with a couple kids, right? You need people to
That's to
continue
continue your legacy,
right?
yeah.
But
Which doesn't always happen, by the way.
financial literacy, building that into the family is very important at a young age, I would say. Young age being like 16, maybe, as young as it gets. I would say anything before that is, you could kind of get them into it, but when you talk about like real topics, like investing and all of that, ease them into it. But 16, you start building more, spending a little bit more time with your kids to actually build that knowledge base. Because as we both know, we didn't really get taught that growing up, right?
Never. In high school, that was bullshit.
And, it's not to, put our parents down. They obviously came through in a lot of different ways for us. But now it's our turn to kind of like, now that we have where we are, we could build off that and kind of.
Well, we're the building blocks of their legacy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're counting on us, man.
Exactly. Like, I feel like that's my answer is going to be kind of on top of everything that Anthony said. I owe it to them. When I talk about where I came from, I'm very prideful for it because no matter how far I go in building my legacy, I look at it like this. I'm always competing with my dad. Mm-hmm. Like, that's how I view it. Like, I need a competitor, right? Like, but I know realistically, bro, no matter what I do, even if I become a millionaire in the next 10 years, mm-hmm. I got to get more because what my dad did for everyone in my family, no one looks at it the way I look at it, I think. My dad took a risk, not once, but twice in his life. Like I said, he came from a background of not even learning the language of fucking Spanish. He had to learn that. Leaving the farmlands, going to Peru to the capital, taking a risk there. Building his house, building a future for him. Not abandoning, but leaving my mom for a dream that was not promised. taking a fucking like it's like gambling, bro.
It is. It's a
He
huge
literally,
risk.
yeah, he put all his colors on 40 black, or 30 black. Like he just said, "Here, I'm gonna roll my dice on that. Let's see if it lands." Came to the U.S., was lucky enough that Reagan was able to pass a law where all these illegal immigrants became residents, and then he studied his English enough to become a citizen. Bought his house here with my mother. I mean, brought my family over,
Mm.
then bought him his house with my mom. You know, they both had to collab on that dream to make something happen. I'm not going to take away anything from my mom, but you know what I mean? And it just like, and it was just like, I don't think no matter what I do, I'll ever have it that hard in my life.
They they sacrificed a lot.
Yeah, that hard part was done. That's why I feel like building a legacy for me is very important because why stop there?
Well,
Where do I progress from here?
yeah, because they sacrificed a lot. Same thing here. My family, they sacrificed a lot to come here, not native to America. So it's very hard without knowing the language. Like your
Yeah,
father had to learn the language
of his own home country.
of his own home country, and it's just like those kind of things. It's a huge deal. It plays a big role into how successful you could be. It's a
Yeah,
huge risk going to a brand new country, don't know what's up. But all of that risk led up to this moment, right? All of it. And so we have a choice. And the choice is, do we flop, right? Or
yeah,
do we actually take steps in the right direction? And I think starting the conversation like we're doing right now is a good step in the right direction. At the very least, like you don't even have to be building anything right now, but the conversation will lead to building later.
yeah. Because it's like what you said. What's built is built,
Right.
right? A lot of kids, a lot of people nowadays, and I get it. You know, I understand. Like, you know, I hear the excuse, not the excuse, but I hear the explanation. Like, well, we don't owe our parents anything, which is true. It's actually true. We don't ask to be here. Like, I'm not, because I've heard that from my nieces at times and times. Like, there has been some friction within their fathers, within my family, like with a new generation coming up. Like, why do I? It's not fair to us where you guys are expecting us first generation expectations.
Yeah.
um and it's true. I mean, even though my nieces and cousins aren't first generation, they're more now the second and third. So
Mm.
maybe it's more of a first generational thing
Yeah.
where we are expected to do these things because we come from the actual immigrant parents, right? But as the generations keep going, they don't it's like, well, we didn't ask to be this. Like, why is this being asked of us? And I always tell my nieces, well, no one's asking you to do it, right? But you should be proud for where you came from. And maybe it's more of the, like, us, the first generations. When Mike has a kid, you should be the uncle when he's not hanging out with Mike, because we only look at our fathers and moms in the beginning of our years, when in our teenage years, when they tell us to do something,
Mm.
it's not really listened to. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We're kind of very rebellious to what we're hearing until later on, where we start realizing things. But my nieces, I made it very, very, very important for me to correlate everything that was being correlated to me. Like, this is why this is this way. You should be proud. Like, I'm pretty sure. Um,
You helped like relay the values of your parents to
ex-
your nieces.
exactly. Like, we came from the gutters, like, to where we are now. So appreciate what you have, because there were sometimes complaints, oh, like, he got me this, but like, this is bullshit. Like, I should have gotten something else. And I'm like, whoa, like, back in the day, I didn't even get that. And if I
Yeah.
got that, it was months and months in advance to work to that. You know what I mean? Like, everyone contributed it a little bit, but nowadays parents are just expected to give, 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 which is not fair, I think. And I always try to correlate that with the younger generation, the ones that I am attached to. And right now, the only ones that I'm attached to is my nieces and my nephews. So you guys have to appreciate what you have, because if you don't know what gratitude is from the beginning, you will never be grateful for anything in life.
There you hit it on the nail. Like you need to really be grateful for what we have. And it kind of touches on what you were saying before. Like, we didn't ask for any of this. The first generation expectations is extremely high. We have the burden to perform is very high.
Yeah.
And it's very stressful, and I feel it all the time. But at the end of the day, what I do look at is like, okay, there's a sacrifice made for me. And what would be worse? Like, would I waste all of the sacrifice for my parents because it's too hard, or suck it up, take on the burden but grow from it. And it doesn't have to, there's a way to deal with all of that. You don't have to put it all on your shoulders to bear. Like I have a brother, to
Exactly.
help me in my shortcomings. So, we work together to bear that responsibility.
It's also like what you said before too. I remember you saying this a long time ago to me, and it's resonated with me, right? And it's kind of the same idea that I have now.
Mm.
I didn't even realize we had the same idea, just in different terms. You said to me like, when you're in a down moment, what's the best way to get out of it? Right? Is to self improve, to do something that even if it's a minuscule amount, like even a minimum amount,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna make you feel better in the long run as long as you continue it. Right? It's the same thing with like our generations, like right. How do you improve even if it's just a little bit, right? It's just doing something and knowing that in the long run it's going to be for a greater good. And you have to, even if you want to think selfishly about it, you should be like, how am I going to live a better life? Oh, I have to own a home. Well, I'll let my parents live in the home too, but it's going to be my home. So it's just like, all right, if you want to think of it like that way, instead of helping your parents, you're going to be helping them, but also helping you. Because in the future, when everyone's still trying to buy a house or doesn't own a house or is renting an apartment, you're going to be in a better position because you're like, oh, I have mine. Even if I share it, it's still mine.
Exactly. Yeah,
You
you
know,
built up that,
kill two birds with
ability.
one stone. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And it's just like it's very important to me. Like building legacy is something that I see in my everyday plans. Like I told you, ways of improving your mental health, ways of making sure that you're going to be okay is doing small things that even though they might be inconvenient,
Mhm.
but you have to look at 24 hours in a day as how many things can I fit positively? Because no matter how many positive things you fit, there are going to be negative things within those positive things,
Mm.
right? But the more positive you put within the day, you're gonna outnumber the negative. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
the morning I think is very important. Like I said it before, I say it all the time. In my car, bro, I pray, I give thanks, and it makes me feel a lot better walking through the door of my job. Because I already hate that I'm going to work, but I already said what I'm thankful for, so I go in with a different mindset. Even though I may be pissed off at work still,
Yeah.
I have a foundation of how my day started positively. No matter what, I could be late to work, I could have a shitty day in the shower, but no matter what, I go into that car and I say, God, thank you for giving me health today. Thank you for giving me another day at a place that's paying me money. Thank you for putting my parents still with me another day. Because easily, any day, I mean, knock on wood, I can wake up, my parents could be sick, I could be sick, I could be fired, I could have no job to complain about. You know what I mean? I could be putting people in the worst positions in my life, which I'm not doing.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
So I mean, dude, it's like take a pause for a second. Like that was some good words. Because how you decide to spend, like in the morning when you wake up, how you decide, you basically decide how your day is going to be as soon as you wake up.
Yeah, I give
You,
thanks no
if you
matter what.
if you're in a mood and you carry that out, your day's gonna be in a mood.
Yeah.
If it's like what you do in your car, like you're like, of course, you're not gonna absolutely love your job. It depends. Like, if are you doing the thing that you want to do? If you're not, you're gonna
That's on
work
me
towards
to
that,
work on that. Yeah, yeah,
right? But at least instead of just being like, "Oh, I'm going into work today. I have to go. This sucks." You're like, "I get to go to work.
yeah. I get to get paid.
I get to get paid. I get to go to work. I get to, work towards, um, a career that you actually want to do. Because, all of that is a work in progress. It's
Correct.
coming out.
Exactly.
It's
No.
coming out soon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, bro, it's just like that's why I say the morning for me is a very important structure, and it doesn't and I have to get better at it obviously because there are days I don't leave the house, like on my days off, like sometimes I don't want to have a lazy day,
Mm.
and I sometimes forget because I make it such a routine in my car that I have to still do it like when I'm not leaving the house. But I mean, it's practice, right? It's practice working on it, and you just want to make sure you lay out your day, just like life. Like you want to lay it out to the best of your abilities, to making sure you leave a legacy for it. Because when we do have kids, right? I've experienced it. The reason I talk like an old man, bro, is just because you have no idea. In my 29 years of life, you only have one brother. I have three that I've viewed. I've seen my brothers and sisters go through horrible divorces. I've seen, I've seen some physical abuse on some sides. Like, I've gotten in between those fights. I've been a person that has seen a good family structure within my mom and dad. I've seen traditional customs. I've seen traditional customs completely transform within my sisters, learning to
Wow.
understand. I've seen family members of mine come out to be gay, and having to accept that and learning how to not view them a bad way. Try to teach my parents how to view that differently because traditional customs that is not accepted, but learning to evolve with times. And I have 9 nieces and nephews, bro. So I've seen people grow up in different stages. People go through different positions in their lives. So I like when I say building a legacy, I know that it's going to be very hard for me because whoever my offspring is going to be in the future, I have to learn with that. Like they always say, right? If you're a troubled kid, if you're troubled when you were younger, as in like not troubled like mentally, but like you gave your parents a lot of shit or you challenged a lot of shit. Just there's a saying in Spanish, just get ready because your offspring is going to be 10 times worse than that. It's like karma. It's kind of like how they say
Wow.
karma relates. What you give out to your parents, it's coming right back to you 10 times worse. You want so
Damn. It's
and
making
it's
me
true.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the only reason I can say that it's true is because my brother was a very very troubled kid with my parents, and he gave them a lot of shit. And his kids can trust me. He has 7 now.
Wow.
Each one, I'm sure, exemplifies some type of emotional things for him where he had to learn to cope with it. So, and I'm not saying my nieces are horrible. They're not, but they've been in their stages where they challenge the parent,
Yeah.
and it was hard for my brother. It was hard for my brother, but I mean, he was grateful to have my mom there, sisters, aunts, her side of the family, everything that molded this girl who she is now. The firstborn of his is now a successful lady. So it's just like I can tell you, like building our legacy is it doesn't even when you start it, and even though you have all this, dude, good luck. Good luck to you because it's gonna be a tough road for everybody.
It didn't even start, I feel like, because there's so much to do. There's so much me to grow.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
not like forget like even like financial things. Like
mhm.
just me grow. Like
It's an everyday battle, bro.
yeah, man.
It never stops until we die, and that's a fact, bro. That's the scary part.
Yeah.
You never reap like as much as like I'm not trying to like ruin anyone's like day, but perfection will never be met. You will never be God. You will never be the
No.
Almighty, the
Yeah.
all powerful, the God knows. Those characters don't exist in
No.
this world. Even Goku dies, bro. You know what I
Damn.
mean? Like
Damn.
even Naruto dies. Even like the great characters that we build up in anime, those assholes don't live forever.
Damn. You really put it in perspective. No, you can't. Yeah. Striving for perfection is a fool's game. But
No, you should aim for perfection. Just know,
you should aim high,
yeah,
but aim
exactly.
at something that's like concrete, feasible, not like godlike, like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's gonna be hard.
no, yeah, well,
Not
not
even hard. Like it's impossible.
no,
Like,
but I don't
but
think it's
aim high.
impossible. You think it's impossible? Look at the Jeff Bezos of the world. You see how his company started?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, man. I look at a lot of other things other than financial wealth. He went through a pretty nasty divorce.
No, no, no. Of course, with
So
when it comes
so
to,
building a legacy in that way
I
is
mean, his legacy is built, brother. It's just like where he wants to live his life for the rest. Like you hear
yeah. I
the,
mean,
the,
yeah,
the
shout out to him, but like, that part is not ideal.
which part?
Going through that divorce.
Yeah, it happens, bro.
It happens, but
You're
I'm
gonna
saying like
need.
if you're aiming to build a legacy, you need kids, you need a
I can.
solid family structure.
You're right, but I can tell you right now, you will never be able to tell me what your wife in the future is gonna do.
No, of course, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like that one thing, that one page in his book is not a great page
So
for
you
him.
just move on from them. Remember
Of
how you
course.
say? You just got to fix the chapter, bro. How you want that chapter to end? Nice or good?
No, yeah, you move on. You
Yeah.
move on. You
No, no. I mean,
Yeah.
like you mend it as best as you can, and then there are gonna be bumps in the road. I look at divorce as like as a bump on the road. If it happens, it happens, right? You're gonna try as a man, right? You're gonna try everything.
Mhm.
If you feel like you've done everything you could and you still can't make this partner happy, then
Oh yeah,
divorce is
so
the final option. Is
yeah.
the final and has to happen option. But like it's just like inevitable at times. It's going to happen. if that's where it's going
That's where
to.
it's going. I mean, it depends. Yeah, if you're both not compromising on anything, you're
Yeah.
not working towards fixing your problems. I mean, yeah, it's of
I,
course it's gonna end that way.
correct. And I think that's where millennials are learning from the past baby boomers and stuff like that, is that we're learning to, how do you not make that happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think like, and J. Cole says, I don't know if you listened to a pod that he was on with Lil Yachty. Um, he had a really good saying. It's like, a lot of what you have to understand, what everyone has to understand, your partner that you choose from day one, 10 years down the road, you're gonna stop falling in love with them. The love is gonna fade. That's a fact. Anyone that's been in a long term relationship can tell you that it's sometime in the timeline, love fades. Now it's learning, because you made a commitment, right? It's learning to go through these rough patches and understanding, okay, what do I do as a human being now to make this person love me again? How do I recreate, or maybe do a whole new creation to make my partner fall in love with me again? What have I done in those 10 years that maybe I got too comfortable with, that I need to change again and excite and amplify in our relationship to continue it going now, to making her fall in love with the 10 years later J. Cole, or the 10 years later David Puka. It's because it happens. It, for you to think that your partner's supposed to love you for 70 years is
Well,
bullshit.
with doing nothing, yeah, it's bullshit. But
Yeah.
with you always looking, thinking about both of you, aiming together at the right things.
Like, what do you mean by that? Let me ask you that. You go, like, I'm not an expert at this
Sure.
either. I'm not an expert at this
Yeah.
either. But 10 years down the line, when the baby's finally involved in everything, partners,
Yeah.
as much as you want to mingle, right? As
Yeah.
much as you want to continue doing certain things are put aside, and
Yeah,
it happens.
the relationship dynamic absolutely changes, especially with children, right? But the question is, after 10 years, how do you maintain that same lust, that
You
same
don't.
love?
I don't think you do.
I mean,
It's
well, this
impossible.
is the thing. Mike said this beautifully, I think, in another podcast. Like, we're all a work in progress. But what
Hmm.
that really means is parts of us are going to die, and we're going to rebuild those parts that die. We're going to have certain ideas
Hmm.
that are not good ideas, right? I've held on to some ideas which were not good ideas in the past. And it's about letting those ideas die, not me die, right? So that's the same thing with the relationship. You want to build and aim together at things that you both agree on. And these are things that you've agreed to. I mean, hopefully you vetted, the person out so that you at least have some fundamental values that you share.
Hmm.
And then you build from that, because you're different people and you'll never have the same love that you did when you first started, but
Correct.
you can have a greater love, is my point. Is because as soon as it's about how you solve the problems when they come up.
Correct. But what I'm
Yeah.
stating to you is that just because you're in it in that mentality, the other person won't be.
Well, it's about vetting that. You have to vet that in the beginning, I think. You have to.
That's where I'm telling you.
I mean, are you
No
asking the right
matter,
questions?
no, I can guarantee you, Anthony. I'm telling you, the love is very mysterious. Love is funny. Sometimes people say they might love you and they don't. Um, Other times people look for different interests. I'm just saying to you, and I've seen it. I've seen it so many examples, and I'm being biased because a lot of it's my family and a lot of it's my friends that have gone through it. It's just that what's said on day one and said on day 100 and said on day like 365, 400
Yeah,
changes.
of
It's just
course.
it's not the same. Even when you try
Yeah.
to
Uh-huh.
be honest and communicate and do all the things that you can do as your partner, I would consider you a great partner. But just know that your co-partner is not going. I can't say the same if she is not as invested as you are. And
Mhm.
you say, okay, but did you ask the right questions in the beginning? That doesn't matter if you did.
So I want to. So
You can
you.
challenge it. Challenge it.
No, I'm not going to challenge. You're right. You're actually right. It's questions and answers are never going to line up 100% with actions. It's about, does the answers line up with the actions?
Yeah.
That's the one thing. So when you ask the questions over the 6 months where you're dating or situationship, whatever people call it today, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're dating, then you're looking to get engaged, married. over a couple years, right? It's about, do those answers to those questions that I fell in love with, those, things, does that line up with their
Wait,
actions?
correct. You're looking at it from a 1 to 2 year point of view. I'm telling you on a 10 to 20
No, but
year
that's
point.
just to get it started. But you're always going to have problems. You're
Yeah,
always going to have problems. And I
correct.
already agreed with you that the initial lust isn't going to be the same
Yeah,
from
it's
the
the
beginning
honeymoon
to
phase.
end.
Yeah,
But it could be better if you build and know how to solve problems
of course
together.
it can. Of course it can.
And that's all I'm saying.
But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, don't look at it from a 1 2 year perspective because that person will completely
No,
change.
I'm looking at it from a beginning to 1 2 year perspective going into the future for 10, 20, 30 years, 50 years. It's a struggle, and marriage is hard, and
Oh, of course.
you're never, if you think that it's going to be happy, it's not. And it could be happy, and I wish it is happy for people, but don't aim at happiness.
This is like a job, bro. I look at it like
Yeah.
a job. It's like, are you marrying a job that you love or marrying a job that you hate? You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes there are factors that make you marry someone because you think you need to, and there are factors that, I'm just saying, there's a lot of factors to it. We can agree and disagree to a
Yeah.
lot of the small little things,
Sure.
but that's the whole point of the conversation. Um, okay, let's see.
What you got for us, Puka?
Yeah, let's see. We got some good questions. We got some good questions today. Um, what's the motivation though? What's your motivation for like where did this motivation thrive from? Where
Yeah.
did it spark everything? I kind of gave my answer already.
I would say just seeing the struggle my parents went through, and how awful that could be for creating a strong family, and seeing how other families operate. It has motivated me to want better for my kids at the very least, right? um it's all about aiming high, and I'm motivated to kind of create something better than what I have right now. That's just,
The
I just
motivation.
want something. I've I've taken me out of the equation. I want something better for my kids. Period. That's it. I mean, it's that simple. Like, I will sacrifice my happiness today, 5 years from now, 15 years from now, just for my kids to have a better life. Even if they don't take it, even if they don't, use take full advantage of it. I just want to give them the opportunity. That's it.
That's a good answer. Um, honestly, fuck my kids.
Yeah.
I definitely want a better life for them, and they will, no matter. The fucked up part is, where I come from and where I remember from everything. My kids already start with a better life than I have, no matter what. Thanks to my parents. Like, I'll never. I mean, I could revert back to it by making horrible decisions right now, which I'm not.
Same, right?
But
Yeah.
yeah, I could go put myself in a worse position than I am right now. But what my parents are left, what my parents, God, like I said, God forbid my parents die today. Um, I'm left with an inheritance from Peru, an inheritance that if used correctly, I'll never have to not work, but not have to revert to where my parents started in the U.S. Like, I'm very honored that I've only glimpsed 7 or 8 years into where I started, bro.
Mm.
Like, this was my apartment in Inwood. Like, not the nice walls, like the concrete. Not the concrete. Like, we had like a decent apartment in that structure. But I remember what it was. I remember what it was to struggle. I remember what it was to constantly have my neighbors in the other apartment buildings check on me because I was left alone. Um
Damn.
when I was after school, because my mom was still working, my mom didn't have a car, transportation was the MTA. Dad worked, purposely made a schedule in the afternoon and late shifts because he had to drop me. He had to be the caretaker to leave me on the bus and make my breakfast. So I remember a lot of the struggles coming up, and I remember my parents doing the most. Like, they don't think that I remember, but I do remember the sacrifices we had to make as a family to overcome. So fuck my kids in the terms of, I'm not working for them. I'm really selfish when I look at this. I'm working for me and now. Like, and you are too, bro. Like I said, don't think that you haven't started. Your legacy's already built. Your foundation's built. Now, I like what you said that you want better. You want the best opportunities for your kid. I love that. That's because I think that every parent's gonna look like that. Even me, even though I said fuck my kids now, sorry, future offsprings, but um, I'm looking to get what you have, and there are certain things that are going to. I'm waking up, man. I'm waking up, bro. I'm waking up to change my 9 to 5, to build a legacy, even starting small as the podcast. Somewhere along the line, this structure, learning these things, implementing the things that I'm learning, I know is going to help me somewhere. I don't know where yet. Maybe it's building my business. I can look at this as a business, but maybe down the line I decide to open my business and I'm going to have a lot of this down, like the social media aspect. I'm good on it. Starting a podcast, I know how to do that. Did it 3 times already. Exploring the internet, learning trends and stuff. I can do that. One video blows up. How do I take my career from there? I can't, like, I went to school for business. I know how to manage certain things. And I know that you always ask me, like, also in the beginning, right? You said to me, um, Puka, why do you think that you wanted me as a co-host or something like that?
Oh,
Somewhere along the lines. And to be honest with you, bro, every successful book that I've read, everything that I've known from a person that has been in a position of wealth, because I met a rich fuck. I'll never forget his name. His name was Walter. He's the one that bought my house in Island Park. Fuck you, Walter. He took advantage of a situation that was fucked up at the time, but now I know that how business is. Sometimes it's dirty,
it is 30.
and he literally showed me what you need to do, and basically it's surrounding yourself with people that are smarter than you, surrounding yourself with people that want more, surrounding yourself with people that are aiming for good. Now, in his terms, he doesn't look like, obviously he doesn't know us, so he didn't think he did anything dirty to us. To him, it was a business opportunity, and we were looking for a way out, and he was looking for a way in, and he took advantage of a situation. But he also, we were stupid. If I was David Puka now, living at the time where all this was happening, I would have advised my father not to go that route. And all I got from him though is something I'll never forget. It's just like what I said. You need a room where you're not the smartest person, but you're at the head of the table. You have to surround yourself with people. So I look at you as someone that's way smarter than me and also knows things that I don't know. So how am I going to use that to my advantage? Not like I'm taking abuse of you, because I'm not taking anything away from you, because I'm helping. Like I said to you, you said it from the very beginning. You want to start your own podcast. If this is a way, you to gateway to learning everything that you need to do, then use it to your advantage. You have my sources, my resources. I have your resources. We're combining it together. We're not taking anything away from each other. So I don't look at it the way that like Walter did to me. But I also, like I said, I look at it like that because my house was taken away from me. But at the same time, he doesn't look at it like that because at the time, my parents wanted a way out from that house.
Yeah, sometimes circumstances make it really difficult. Sometimes you just have to take the bad decision. The better of, what is it, the lesser of two evils? Or, and situations have a double-edged sword sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get screwed either way, but how screwed you get is what you
Exactly.
get to
That's
choose.
exactly the scenario we're in. Beautifully said.
So, I mean, with the podcast, I just want to say this because you deserve it. Puka, you work so hard, man. It's honestly inspiring. It's inspiring because you come here, you didn't know anything about technology. Let's just keep it 1,000.
Yeah, bro. Yo, I'm gonna show you an old clip that I used to fucking. I love. Oh yeah, by the way, me and her are gonna record another one. I feel so bad that there's an episode out like that. It doesn't look that bad on the full video, but on the reels, it looks.
Which one are you talking about?
The one where I told you the length of the video is like a little. Yeah.
No, it's not a big deal. The clips will fix that. But no, it's just like there's a lot of things to learn to do a podcast. How to position the mics, how to make them sound good.
Yeah.
How to position a camera, how to use a camera, how to use the software to run, the podcast.
Correct.
How do we switch between all of these things you've learned just in season 3 alone, because you didn't do video before.
Season 2.
Correct. Season 2.
Season 2 was a really bad beginning. Mm-hmm. But some people don't see it like that.
I don't see it like that. Yeah. Because it's stepping stones, because
I started video with the Blue Yetis.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
You remember when you and Mike had to talk like fucking this? Yeah. So like, it's seen. There's like you and George have said to me, and we're gonna mention George on this the thing that you and him asked me, but he said in every like 2 weeks, he's like, I like that there's improvement on each thing.
Yeah.
You know, some people might get irked like that. Oh, but there's no consistency. But good that there's no consistency, because if anything, it's evolving, and to the point where I finally get it.
Yeah.
Like, it's
You'll
funny.
get the formula.
Yeah, like I still haven't gotten the perfect reel out, but you can tell with every reel,
it's getting much better.
it's getting much and much better, to the point where it's like, all right, this kid is fucking finally doing. This kid was stupid as fuck in season 2, but on season 4, like, holy fuck, like, he's improved so much.
But this is the thing, like, even if you don't, I mean, comparing season 2 to now is different game, but
we'll put it back.
Yeah.
I should put like a before and after.
You should.
Yeah, but keep going.
But like the fact that you were consistent, man, like that is really what it comes down to. Like, you don't have to be consistent, like releasing every week, but you were consistent. I didn't give up on this idea.
Correct.
And that is what's really important, because I've given up on a lot of ideas in the past, and I carry so much regret still. So what happened to us?
Yeah, he was talking about improvement, and this guy never plugged in the fucking charge. Every season we're getting better. We're fixing the mistakes. Boom, laptop dies.
Look, it happens almost.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, sometimes we got everything right, and we forgot a little incremental important thing that's gonna keep the laptop alive.
the fucking brains.
Yeah.
Oh, so what I was talking about is regretting not finishing projects, but you have always continued, and that's inspiring. You need to know that.
I appreciate that.
Should know that. It's very inspiring.
But to give you also, not flowers, but because it's not flowers that I'm giving. No, because it's
shrubs.
I'm giving because I don't deserve the flowers without telling you. I told you I'm the same way, bro. The reason season 2 was based on consistency, and it failed, believe it or not. I wasn't consistent with every episode, but I was consistent with actually putting it out, right?
Yep.
But season 3 was a new battle, because I'm like, all right, consistency again, and it worked. Finally, it took me 3 seasons within PCP to be consistent, but it took me 3 podcasts and three seasons within the new one to actually become consistent. So, it's all about time management, man. It's like you said. I mean, learning to time manage, learning to work on small little things that are gonna help you improve. So, I honestly, it took me a lot of work, bro. It's not like, and just like you, bro, you said it before. I quit on so many ideas. Cuisine Kings is like almost dead, but I'm gonna try to revive that within branching my time management very well, because now that someone is helping me with this, I should have a small window. I'm not gonna make it amazing like the reels that Herbert does. You know, shout out to he does those. But I'm going to try my very best to, I call him that. I'm gonna try my very best to like increment the reels the best of my ability. What I learned from PCP, and that's what I'm telling you. Like, you remember, I just said it before. I was like, where is this gonna help me? Maybe I can revive Cuisine Kings. You know, give it the nice fucking CPR. What Puka can, and who knows, mukbangs might be the way. I mean, Keith Lee, you know him on TikTok.
Keith Lee?
Yeah, he's big.
He's a wrestler.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. Maybe
Keith
we're not.
Lee?
Maybe we're not. I'm talking about the wrong person. Let me just make sure. Hold on. Quick intervention moment right here.
We gotta
Keith
know.
Lee food reviews. Food reviews. Everyone says that maybe I'm saying his name wrong. Maybe his name is not Keith Lee.
I mean, he's a big dude.
Oh,
is he a big dude?
That guy's a wrestler. Maybe I'm saying the guy's name wrong. Hold on. His name is also Keith Lee, so that's hilarious.
So wow.
He's a big food vlogger that blew up the internet by literally doing food reviews, and he starts them as a mukbang. His name is Keith Lee too, and he does this, and he goes, "Today we are reviewing Chipotle, and I'm going to tell you from 1 to 5 if it is great food, and yeah, let's get down to the review." He blew up like that. He literally, I'm not even fucking lying to you, bro.
That's insane. So
beginning of this year in January. I went to a place called Dynamite.
And he has 1.6 million followers.
He's hit a formula.
He's hit a formula, exactly. So maybe I can do that with Kazine Kings, give it the nice CPR and just be like, I'm not going to do the Keith Lee shit, but I'm going to be like, fuckers, I'm the opposite of Keith Lee. This is David Puka taking over Cuisine Kings, you fuck faces, and I'm here to review it. But like, I'm going to put my own little twist to it. So who knows? But like I said, I'm going to try to fix some of the mistakes I've done in the past, revive some of the ideas. Like, I'm really big into sports, and you mentioned that before. So maybe I'll tell you guys in this little episode that we're doing today. I'm going to implement PCP Sports. Has nothing to do with the podcast at all. It won't interfere with the podcast. It's going to be me just talking about moments in sports. It does not have to be about the game. It could be about maybe gossip, media, what's going on with the teams that I like, or just hype media within sports, and making it its own segment. And I already have the Pucadinho channel on TikTok, which is mine personally that I use. But it has it has the likes, it has the following, and I might just turn it into the PCB Sports.
Yeah, but upload to your same channel as a pod.
Well, I am just make it a different chat, like a different because
like
there's
playlist.
Yeah, playlist, exactly.
Yeah, dude,
exactly. And you never know,
bro,
it might work out. So small things like that. It's gonna be a lot on my plate, but I think that I've always like I told you too before. When we talk like outside of the pod, I do really good under pressure, and I think that healthy pressure is good.
Yes,
especially if pressure you're putting on yourself, not pressure that you don't want. You know what I mean?
No, external pressure is difficult, but internal pressure is good.
Pause.
So I'm still catching myself.
Yeah. I'm still giving him the pause, bro. Pause on that too.
Pause.
But yeah, man. I mean, like, don't look at it as a bad thing. That's why I always want you. That's why I told you, perfectionist could be a little bad because whenever when done with this season and you're done with your projects that you put first as your priority, I think you should really start your podcast. And if you feel like you really want to integrate it with mine, we'll talk about that. We'll make it. We'll see where we incorporate things in making it happen.
Yeah,
like,
I'm very open to that.
Yeah.
So,
like I'm saying, like AJM should stand. Like, don't let it die out. It's gonna stand out somewhere.
That's the thing, man. I have to stop being a perfectionist. I need.
Don't stop. Yeah, no, don't stop. Definitely don't stop. But pause. Don't stop being a perfectionist, but give yourself doors of opportunities to start and then perfect it. You know what I mean? Nothing starts perfect.
I need to start. That's the thing.
You know, like
I
the
can't even start. It's
WW.
so crippling.
Yeah, think about any company. Amazon started it from a fucking, Microsoft, a garage.
Yeah. Online bookstore, and then now it sells everything.
Exactly.
I know, it's unbelievable.
Exactly.
I know, you gotta start small. And the project one of my projects I'm working on, like, it's a huge scale thing. I had to push it back down to like the core.
Exactly.
Just so I could get it up.
Bro, it starts somewhere. Yeah.
I did it.
Exactly. Bro, it starts somewhere, man. It starts somewhere. And just like you said, you even said it yourself when you're telling me how you build a relationship. It starts somewhere. It starts with a sentence, communication, but you build from there, right?
Yeah.
You make it worth you make it worth for the other partner to stay, right? Just like a business, an idea. And that's what I'm learning too. Like, bro, if I had a perfectionist mindset, I would have never started. You saw that we were just going upstairs. We went upstairs and we scrolled through the seasons. Look how fucking shitty that shit was. And thank you for the guests that even fucking participate. You have no idea, because I want all you back on like these episodes. Like, these are the best episodes I'm gonna be fucking making. You know what I mean? So
let's touch on that. So for the guests that want to come on the podcast, DMPCP Puka Circle Podcast, anyone is welcome. We highly prefer in person.
Please,
just want to keep it there. And yeah, I mean, if you have topics you want to talk about, like, we're very open. Like, we kind of want to.
We have no boundaries, unless it's like something really stupid and stupid. I mean, like, we'll discuss it. Yeah, we'll discuss that if you ever ask me something stupid. I'll be honest. I'm always an honest person. Like, I'm not like Mike. I don't yell at people, but.
Yeah, so for those who want to join the podcast, if you made it to this point, please
DM Puka Circle Podcast on Instagram or any social media platform that I have. If you really need to know where I'm at, Instagram, Linktree on my profile has all my platforms there. You can literally DM me on any one of them. And if you really don't feel like you want to talk to me because I look like a dickhead, AJ Media. I'm so tempted to say AJM Media. You should put like another like a media thing on the bottom, but I know that M stands for media. Fuck.
Yeah, AJM
Yeah, you see?
Creative is my photography stuff. AJM Talks might be the podcast name.
Okay.
Still working on that,
AJM
but it could
podcast.
just be PCP or PB&J.
PB&J, yeah, PB&J. Where the fuck does the other Jacob? Shut the fuck up, Mike. Fuck is he at? No, but yeah, man. And what are some goals you're looking for together as a collab in this season? We already got 3 episodes in, man.
Yeah, I wanna get. I like deep talks, deep conversation. So I wanna cut deep. I wanna get to the truth, man.
I like that.
Very not necessarily controversial things, but like
I
things
wanna-
that are deemed controversial, even though they shouldn't be. But yeah, I want to cut deep. I want to provide value. That's why I wanted to start my podcast. I want to provide value.
I like that.
Like I really like from my experience, my journey so far, I think I could provide some insight. Not saying I have all the answers. I don't. I'm still learning, just like everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But just
Where you've gone so far, you want to share it.
I want to share because I feel like I was longing for that content when I was younger.
I like that.
I started with YouTube over a decade ago, so I've been doing that for a while.
Just get ready because we're gonna get George involved, right? And there's gonna be a really good episode, I believe, when he comes on. There's so many people that are gonna go on to this season, and I'm not saying that all the other guests weren't valuable. They were very valuable for its season, for the growth. I would not be here without my friends and everyone collabing with me for the prior seasons. You guys are legit
The backbone.
the backbone to the whole podcast.
Facts.
If I ever make it big, and when I do make it big, I will be thanking out everyone from 1 to season 3 because those are the core people that build the pod. I believe season 4 is now like 1 to 3 is the foundation of my podcast, right? And then 4 is the first step to making it look like it's
Expansion.
expansion. It's its first real big step. Like,
Watch season 5, guys. Whew.
yeah,
You're like, oh, what can we do more?
yeah. We'll find something. We'll find
there's
something.
always something. Incremental improvements, right? Every time it's just it's working out.
Yeah, man. We're gonna have some crazy shit going on for this season, so stay tuned. This is gonna be the first episode. Second episode, we don't know exactly what we're gonna do. I think. Do you want the guys to drop first? Pause.
Yeah.
Guys drop first, then you'll see episode 3 because they're all done, man. It comes to like legit. We'll tell you the insight. Friday, guys podcast, which is episode 2. Today, Saturday was Giselle's podcast. Then today, so it's back to back to back.
Yeah, we have a lot of content. I look forward to talking to new people too. So if you really want to
Yeah,
get on the
absolutely.
podcast, look, we'll make it happen. Seriously.
Yeah, legit.
We'll work together on it. So DM Puka, DM myself if you want. AJM Creative.
Facts. We'll make it happen. It's going to happen. I don't really have much to say. The only thing I would, I guess I can add to it, I want growth for 2024 because this is legit dropping the first day. So my whole thing is I would love this season to have 20% growth to whatever following we have right now, So that's my main goal. And hopefully I can get to, like, I'll be realistic. I'm at, I know I said 20%, but the realistic growth that I see, to give you an idea, I have 175 followers just using this platform alone. Instagram, I would love for the end of season 4 to be at 300. Love. That's just on Instagram. Just on Instagram. Yeah, that's it.
Let's make it happen.
That's a realistic goal of mine. 125 followers.
Yeah. And another fun fact, we did the numbers.
You want to see them?
You're just over 300 on all platforms.
Yeah.
Followers or
correct. Yep.
Subscribers. That's incredible, man.
To be accurate, because this is where the perfectionist comes from, Anthony. This is where I have to thank him. PCB has a total of 310 followers, just over 300 in all platforms. So, yeah. So, I mean, like I said, anything is possible. Use us as an example of building on a small idea and just expanding it. Exactly what you said.
Yeah. We understand this isn't perfect. But hey, we're gonna keep doing it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you guys don't see
it's not gonna stop us.
back to this. Like
Yeah.
it takes a lot of work, takes a lot of concentration, a lot of fluidity through
There's
the
nerves that
hosts.
go into it.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
but you do it a couple of times and it gets much better. Like,
Correct.
hey, if you guys look at my first episode, very nervous. Yeah, I mean, I think
Which is
people
crazy
tell-
because
yeah,
I tell him that's his perspective.
Yeah.
If anything, that's the episode that I got a lot of feedback from that made me want to collab and take his ideas more seriously. Obviously, I had no idea what I was doing, but that's what we were talking about actually when the camera died. So it did actually cut out a lot. Now that
yeah,
I'm
it's a
remembering.
minute, or so.
No. It was a little bit more because we were talking. That wasn't the last thing we said when we thought the camera was off. I was talking to you about the ideas that George was translating to me. So
Yes,
you and George asked me a good question, and I gave you the truthful answers. Anthony said to me, "Do you feel like our ideas and our recommendations have been able to push your podcast to be better? And have you listened to them?" And I was like, "Of course I've listened to them. Like I've done everything you guys have said, not because I think that you guys are always right, but because there's always, even when you guys give me feedback, it sparks something more where I'm like able to look at things differently now. Like, okay, I can use that idea. I will implement it, but it also branched out another one where I can like do, like the logo thing was my idea. I put the logo there, but George goes, it's way too big. And I agreed with him. It looked huge. So I minimized it. So now I'm starting to realize things that I can do that will make it look a lot better. And of course I have to take ideas because I'm not in this field. But now what I do know is like taking his ideas and learning to filter it, like not take it as a bad offensively because he's not looking to hurt me. He's looking to help me in some way.
Yeah, it's about how do you take constructive criticism, and you take it really well. You have applied a lot of what we said. I'll say, I mean, you've seen the growth, you've seen the improvement yourself, so the work speaks for itself.
Yeah.
And you should thank yourself, man, for having the mentality to at least receive it, man. I never, like, a long time ago, I didn't take constructive criticism very well, but I think I'm talking very young.
Yeah.
Because I was always like to myself.
Mm-hmm.
But like 18 plus, I'm like, give me all the criticism. I'm a piece of shit. Help me out. Like, so,
He's a piece of shit.
dude, look, got to keep it 1,000. So, like, very open to constructive criticism. But yeah, that was about it. That's
All
all I
right.
have to say.
Yeah, that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoy episode 1. We look forward to hearing from you guys. And like I said, we just said it. If you had feedback, if you have constructive criticism, please let us know. We are looking for that. We are just looking to get better every day. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully you guys enjoy.
Peace out, guys.